All right. You keep that on the paper. Don't you get that on the floor.
All right, well, good evening. My name is Lindsay Stockdale, Presidential Diamond with It Works Global, and tonight I have Double Diamond Shannon Eves joining us. Shannon, you want to say hey?
Hey!
And Shannon also has a business partner. Her son is also helping us out tonight from time to time. He likes to pop on and say hey. Okay, cool. So tonight we are going to share some tips from the top. I attended, actually Shannon and I and several other people attended a network marketing training, and we got just some fabulous tips from people who have made network marketing a career and a very successful one. So we're going to jump right into it. Tonight we are going to share some things from Eric Worre, and many of you are familiar with him. You have his book GoPro, which everybody in network marketing should have his book GoPro, in my opinion, because he really just gives you the nuts and bolts of creating a successful at work, a successful It Works business, a successful network marketing business. So we're going to start with some things that he shared. And one of the things he talked about is how can we get better in just I guess as a whole, and how can we get better with our own businesses? How can we improve? And so the first thing he talked about was education. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, you do need pen and paper tonight, and there's going to be 6 different things that he shared for how we can get better at the profession of network marketing, and specifically better for those of you on here, how we can take that and make our It Works Global businesses better, okay? So the first one is education, and that's really a two-way street. So the first thing is that you've got to make sure that you understand the industry you're in, network marketing. And if you're kind of like, well, I think I kind of sort of get it, if you can't explain it to somebody, or if someone says it's a pyramid scheme and you can't actually defend your side, then you don't actually understand it. So unless you can teach it, you don't understand it. So Google it tonight. Network marketing, understand the business model, understand really how brilliant, it is. So educate yourself on what network marketing is, what it means, what it is, and what it isn't. Take a few minutes tonight and Google that and just do a little due diligence on the industry, okay? And then the second side of that is really helping other people start to understand this industry. And in my opinion, network marketing is being changed as a whole by people who are starting to actually treat this as a profession. It's been a very powerful profession, but it's really, really, really starting to pick up. And I know for a fact that It Works Global is raising the bar on the profession, the industry of network marketing, because so many people are able to go, part-time with their jobs, are able to go full-time with their It Works Global business and, say goodbye to their full-time jobs and run this full-time. So that is such an exciting thing. But it is our job to educate people, to help them understand what this is and what this isn't. So that's the first thing. Shannon, anything that you want to add to just the importance of educating self and others about the industry?
No, I think you covered everything perfectly.
All right, sweet deal. All right, so the second one is setting proper expectations. And that is so huge in this business and the industry. So the first thing he talked about was telling people how, it's so easy, it's so easy, it's so easy. And let me say this business is simple, right? We share products, we sign up customers. We share an income opportunity, we sign up distributors, and then we teach them how to do exactly what we just did. However, it is not an easy profession. And the only reason it's not easy is because you come up against yourself every day. Your programming that does not serve you, your fears that do not serve you well, and every day you have to face that. And so telling people that, oh, it's just so easy and you're just going to come in and it's just going to happen. No, probably not. So, setting the expectation that this is a business first and foremost, which means it's going to take work. There's going to be work involved, whether that means working on yourself, which it does, or working on your business, which you have to do. It's telling people that it's just so easy. It's just, it's so easy. You're not doing them any good, and you're not doing yourself any good either, because you're going to set the tone for people coming in, and when it's not just like, oh, it's so easy, like they're going to run because they're going to think something's wrong with them. So I don't mean scare them. I just mean set the expectation that it is going to require work on self, and putting in the work, putting in the action, so that you can sign up customers and sign up distributors. All right, so Shan, anything about just being easy, that thing, or do you want to take us into the next one?
No, I think you said everything about being easy, right? Because then people are very upset. They feel like they've been lied to also. And so then you're going to have a huge trust issue. Like they're not going to trust you as an upline because they feel like you've lied to them when you tell them that it's going to be easy. So I say the same thing. It's simple. I don't ever tell anyone it's easy. I tell them it's very simple. Now, the next thing you talked about was overstating products and services, which is a huge deal because you don't want to make claims that could potentially hurt our company, which would then hurt your business. The products are amazing all on their own without you having to overstate them or anything about that. So it's a big deal.
Absolutely. And that's why our company is talking so much right now about, just make sure that you ask people's permission before you post their face or body part on social media. We have the disclaimer that you can now put using, Pick Stitch Photo Grid. You can put the disclaimer at the bottom of the before and afters. So what I like to do is when I have a before and after and there's someone that I'm friends with on Facebook, ask their permission and to tag them, because obviously they're giving their consent too, because they're allowing you to tag them in their picture. So just be smart about it. If you're building your business with integrity, and then you have nothing to worry about. But, definitely ask permission when it comes to before and after. So our company's really hitting home, with that right now. And then also we just launched a new line, which we've already been, of course, in the health and wellness industry. So we've got supplements that we can't make claims with. And we have skincare products. We have our wraps, of course, that we cannot make claims with. We know how awesome and powerful our products are, but we also have boundaries we have to work with. And so just be aware of those. And if you ever get a message from your upline that says, hey, saw what you posted, great post, however, you can't say X, Y, Z. Don't get upset. Don't get offended. Just know they're protecting you and they're protecting the company. We're always watching each other's back. And then of course our new product line that just came out too with the essential oils. Essential oils are amazing. I've been using them for several years. I'm so excited that we're finally, bringing them out on our own. So again, just educate yourself and just post within the confines of what we can and cannot say. And here's my rule of thumb. If your website says it, if the product, if the product coach says it, if the product pamphlet says it, then you can say it. If those three things don't say it, don't say it. All right? So, all right, going on to the next one. So success rates, he talked about that. Just don't blow it up and be like, well, everybody comes in and they go Ruby in 5 seconds. Don't blow things up. Don't make things grandiose because you feel like you have to get somebody. Okay, like we don't get people. We want to share the truth and let them decide if it's a fit and then move forward from there. And I don't know, Shannon, was it? Yeah, I think it was Eric. I have it at the top of my page. He said, in this industry, and especially with It Works Global, the truth is good enough.
Mm-hmm.
End of story. Over and out. The truth is good enough. You don't need to go like blabbing stuff because you're like, you can't stop talking and you don't even know what you just said. Like, don't do that. Keep it simple. We've all been there, especially in the beginning. Just don't do it. All right. Okay. And then we'll go on into income. So, and our company's been talking about this right now too. Just make sure that you're not making any income claims. Like, just don't make any. You know, we really want to focus on, most people start home-based businesses to make an extra $500 a month. That's really that figure that most people come in to do. You know, focus on the benefits of the business and bringing in additional income. And when you sell, you know, a wrap and you're showing that, or you're sharing how thankful you are for your business because you just put gas in your car, or you just paid your mortgage, or you just paid daycare, or you just paid your health insurance, that's getting people's attention more than you making a claim about you come in and you're going to make $10,000 a month. Okay. So just keep it real. At the end of the day, just keep it real with people. And there, you know, there is also, we do have the annual average earning chart with the disclaimer at the bottom. So too, when you're talking about maybe different levels or something, post that picture and the disclaimers at the bottom. So, you know, again, just with integrity, the truth is good enough. So just don't blow things up. All right. Anything about that, Shannon?
We're good.
All righty. Talking about, we kind of already touched on this, but he's, you know, talking about work. Don't tell people that this isn't work. Like, you just come in, you're just going to sign up and just stuff's going to happen. Like, no, that's not how this works. Don't tell people that. It is work because it is a business. So just make sure, you know, you're not saying stuff just to make it sound good. All right. And then time. You know, people come into this business and they promote at different times. You know, the fastest it's been done is coming in as a distributor and going to the top of the company, I think in 6 months and 28 days. Whoa. Okay. That's amazing. Not everybody does that, and that is okay. So just know that you don't need to talk about like, oh, you can come in and you can do this in 30 days or you can do this or whatever, because they may and they may not. So just sort of relax when you're talking to people. The truth is good enough, and embrace that. Shannon?
Perfect.
I feel like I was on like some sort of like news. I was like, and Shannon, it's over to you. All right. All right. So going back to, all right. So the next one. So number 2, professionalism. This is huge because this industry is so powerful. It is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful business model in the world. And we need to treat it like that. We need to exude professionalism so that we attract people who are professionals. And he talked in his book, Go Pro, he talks about there's 3 different stages. There are posers, there are amateurs, and then there are professionals. And I love that part in his book when he explains, like in his opinion, like what those different 3 different levels look like. And it's spot on. It's so spot on. Shannon, so anything about professionalism? Any tips on that?
I think just a lot of times just coming to terms with yourself that this is a profession, because I know when I first started, I would be like, oh, I'm an RN and I do this little wrap thing on the side. And so I would kind of downplay it. But really, when you can step into the power of what this is, and it really is a profession, and you tell people, I'm a network marketing professional, it's totally different. They have no idea what you're talking about. And then they're like, what? You know, and then you're like, oh, you know, those wraps. And they're like, oh, that home-based business. Yes, it's a profession. So I think just being able to come into just come into the power of the profession and realize that it is a profession, and it's totally fine to tell people that you are a network marketing professional. Like, put that on your resume because it's phenomenal.
Oh, I love that. And I got chills too. Yeah, any industry that moves multiples of billions in a year, that's pretty professional, if you ask me. All right, did I miss my numbers? No, 1 was education, sorry. 2 was proper expectations. 3 was professionalism. And the 4th one is, he just said, like any profession, there are skills that you need to master. And enthusiasm isn't enough. So I love that, because in his book, of course, he talks about the 7 skills, which we're about to just segue right into. But just to kind of touch on that, you know, a lot of times you'll hear people say ignorance on fire, right? You just come in and, like, in the beginning, people come in and they're just having all this success because their ignorance on fire. And there is a lot of truth to that, because they're not overthinking it. They're not letting those fears creep in. They're just doing it, and they're not even sure how they're doing it. However, that is only going to take you so far. And a big part of this is going back to just that self-education. And so you need to master the skills. Oh my gosh, is your son okay? Just heard a boom. Just checking.
He's in the bathtub.
Oh, okay.
So it's
okay,
fine.
You might have water everywhere.
Yeah, it's fine.
But there are skills that you need to master, because your excitement and your enthusiasm is only going to go so far. And if you've been in the business for 6 months and someone asks you a question and you're like, I don't know, just having fun, like, that's only going to take you so far. So, Shannon, anything about that?
No, that's good. I don't have
Okay.
anything to add.
All right. Do you want to talk about, do you want to mention, like, number 5, guys, is the 7 fundamental skills? Would you care to list off those 7 skills? And guys, be sure you got your pen and paper so that you can write these 7 down.
Okay, so the 7 skills from the book Go Pro by Eric Worre. So if you don't have it, you need to get it. Number 1 is finding prospects. Number 2 is inviting. Number 3, presenting. Number 4 is follow-up. Number 5 is closing. 6, getting people started. And the last one, number 7, is promoting events.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, guys, so here's what I want you to do. Tonight, I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you really don't know what's happening, and 10 being you're excellent. Okay, so I want you to take those 7 skills and rate yourself. Be really honest with yourself on where you are. So finding prospects on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you don't even know where to find people. You just, where are people? Like, okay. Or 10, you have no problem finding prospects. Every person you run into is a new prospect. So be really honest with yourself and rate yourself, because the more truthful you are with yourself, you know where you are, you know where you stand, and you know what you need to work on. And you can message your upline or your sponsor, your upline Diamond Above, and just say, hey, you know, I rated myself and I realized that my strengths are this, but my weaknesses or the things I need to improve on are this. Can you point me in the right direction? How can I get better at that? All right. So he actually, I attended this event last year and this year, and he had us do that both years, and Shannon did too. And I don't know, I love that. I love really just taking the time to assess kind of where I am on those 7 skills of being a network marketing professional. All right, number 6 is it's going to take some time. So yes, this business is going to take time. It just is. And he talked about time, work, and sacrifice. And those are the 3 things kind of embodied. Whether you give your business 30 minutes a day, or full-time hours. It really does come down to time and work and sacrifice, because you could fill your days with all kinds of things, right? The world is distinguished in being a huge distraction. So be okay with it taking time, because this is a journey, because you're improving over time, and that doesn't happen overnight. And then this does require work. This is a business, and you've got to work this like you want this. So whatever your expectations are, put them up there, but make sure that your work is matching that outcome. And then sacrifice. I think people freak out about sacrifice, the word sacrifice, because that means they're going to have to give up something they love, and that the return is not going to be worth it. But really, sacrifice in this business means, maybe DVRing your favorite program so you can watch or you can listen to the Monday Night Call, or giving up a couple of TV shows so that you can spend some time reading for 30 minutes a day. Turning off the radio and listening to, heaven forbid, an audio that fills your mind with incredible knowledge. You might have to miss a birthday party and send a gift, so that you can make a new distributor's launch. So they're not huge things like giving up air. They're little things that compound over time to become really big things in this business, like time and financial freedom. So, yeah, I just love that. And he shared that doctors and lawyers spend 18,000 hours of practice before they officially start their careers. I mean, whoa. And athletes, or artists, musicians spend about 10,000 hours practicing to perfect their profession. And it's not one that they just stop. It's continuing education, just like what we do. It's continuing education. Because if we're alive and we're exposed to things, we need to continuously be educating ourselves to make sure that we're staying on the right track. So, Shannon, anything about that? Time, work, and sacrifice?
I think once you catch the vision of what you can really do with this business and what you can make of it, time, work, and sacrifice aren't even an issue. Like, you just don't even think about it. I know when I went through nursing school, I just told myself 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. I worked midnights and I went to school all day. I slept 3 hours a day so I could get everything done. But I knew what the end result was going to be, so I didn't really see, like, I knew it was hard going through it, but I just didn't really see it. I knew what I needed to do, and it's the same way with this business. When you can really see where you could be in 2 years with this, it won't even feel like a sacrifice. It won't feel like you're just overly working. It won't feel like you're giving up all your time, because you know what you're working towards. When you have that big goal and that dream, I don't know, that's just how I feel about it. It just doesn't even feel like it. It just becomes very normal, very much part of your life. You know what you're going and you know what you're doing with this. So it doesn't feel like a sacrifice. Maybe don't think of it that way.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's an investment. I don't ever see anything as a sacrifice. I see it as an investment.
I agree. I like the word investment better, and that really segues right into this. He shared how the average franchise in America now costs about $65,000. That's an average, very much an average. But the average franchise costs $65,000 to start. Most people don't have that money lying around, which means they have to go take out a loan and pay interest on that loan. It would take 3 years of full-time, like, if you can hear me in all caps right now, full-time effort to get a brand new business off the ground. So chances are you're not working another full-time job, because that is your baby. And you realize that everything, your shelter, the food that's going to go in your body, relies on the success of that business that you just went into quite a bit of debt over to start. So you're giving that a good 3 years of full-time effort. So kind of what Shannon was saying, like, if you could even just, well, and you should, visualize your life 2 years from now. If you truly made this business a priority, and whatever you can give. So again, wherever you want to be in 2 years, back that up and make sure that the amount of time you're putting in on a weekly basis is matching that. So let's just say that for the next 2 years, you were willing to commit 12 hours a week, 15 hours a week, not a day, just 12 to 15 hours a week to your business, to income producing activity, to personal development. That is the short term. Like in 2 years, your life could look completely different, because this is a business that you can still work your full-time job, run and grow a successful business with 12 hours a week, 15 hours a week. And in 2 years, the potential, if you really did it, your life could look completely different. Your finances could look completely different, and your time freedom could exist. You could have time freedom. Maybe not for everybody, but it is a real possibility if you actually gave it that time. So I think for some people, if you don't yet know why you're doing this business, and you haven't cast that vision for the purpose of your business, you haven't cast the vision for your future of what you want your life to look like, meaning you're the creator, you're the designer of your future, not a byproduct of just the day-to-day happenings. But if you're really casting that vision, then, and you believe it, and you've got faith that it's going to happen, then you'll invest 12 to 15 hours a week. Like Shannon said, for 2 years, while she was working and going to school, she knew it was just 2 years, just get through it. And that wasn't a hard schedule. I mean, that wasn't an easy schedule, no doubt. Going on 3 hours of sleep. Yeah, that's not easy. So we're not asking you to do that. You can certainly do that. Again, what's your vision? What are your expectations? Make sure your activity matches that. But you don't have to do that in this. You can still work your full time. You can still have your full-time job, have your family time, and still run this business with very part-time hours and create that financial wiggle room you're looking for, no doubt. And maybe even time freedom too. So yeah, I agree. It's an investment. It's not a sacrifice. All right. Let's see here. Last thing I wanted to share from Eric was he said this, and I thought, wow, that's so true. He said that network marketing gives us immediate feedback. And it really does, because if you think about the 6 things that I just shared, if you think about those 7 skills and where you rated yourself, this business, and we say this all the time, your business is a direct reflection of you. No judgment. It just is. It's a direct reflection of your thoughts about your confidence and your ability to do this. And it's a direct reflection of your thoughts about this industry. And do you really think it can be the vehicle to create a better future for you? So network marketing gives us immediate feedback. It really does. Shannon, anything about that?
No, I think you're good.
All right. Well, the next one of the next speakers was a guy named Presley Swaggerty, and he just shared a few things, basically 3 steps that would really help you grow your network marketing business. And he had been a PE teacher. Is that right, Shannon? He had a master's degree. He was teaching PE, I believe.
He was a football coach.
Football coach, okay.
Football or basketball coach, one or the other. He was a coach, but he also did PE too. He taught, but he also was a coach or whatever.
And he just shared that sort of his defining moment was when he caught himself outside. It was time for lunch, and he didn't even have $2 in his pocket for lunch, so he had to go out to his truck and dig $2 worth of change out of his ashtray. Here he is with a master's degree, a teacher, a coach, and he can't even find lunch money as a grown man. That was sort of his turning point. And so he shared 3 steps that he has found to be very helpful in creating a successful network marketing business. So, Shannon, would you care to talk about the first one?
Sure. His first one was dream. He said, write down your dreams and read them every day. So remind yourself every day what you're working towards. Why are you doing this? And that's why we talk about, like make a dream board, make a dream board, make a dream board. It's just to help you see where you can go, because a lot of times, we come out of high school and we have these like huge dreams, like we're going to live in this mansion and like drive these fancy cars and stuff. And then we get our first paycheck and we're like, oh crap, okay, we got to like really scale this back. We're not going to Cancun on vacation. We're going to do a staycation in the backyard, guys. So, the dream board helps you to expand your mind again, to where you dream again, to where you like feel there's possibilities in life. So it's so important, and you should look at them every day. Put it somewhere you're going to see it every day. Mine's in my office because I work out in there too. So the entire time I'm working out, I've got this dream board with like a beach, so it helps me to work out because I want to be on the beach in a bikini one day. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen because I see it every day, so I know it's going to happen. But, take your dreams and write them down and read them every day.
He also shared about how he actually puts his, or maybe he shared this, put them in the notes section or memo section of your phone. And especially when you're having a bad day, get it out and look at it and read over it and refocus those thoughts, refocus those feelings. And that's what changes everything, is your thoughts and your feelings. So I think that's a brilliant idea, to put it in your phone and look at it there every day, but especially when you're having a rough day at your job, or a rough day you feel frustrated with your at work's business. Refocus. All right, and the second one he shared, so he's got 3 things. So Shannon shared the first one, which was write your dreams down. The second one that he shared was grow. He said read daily. Make sure that you're reading at least 10 pages a day, because if you did that 365 days a year, that would be you reading 15 to 20 books in a year's time, and you would not be the same person. You would be just this super version of yourself 1 year later. And imagine doing that every year, what that would really do for your life. It blows my mind when I ask people what they're reading, and they're like, yeah, I got nothing. Because think about it. Going to school our whole lives, and if you went on to continuing education, you have undergraduate, you have a graduate degree, what did you do? Like, you had to go buy very expensive books, and you had to read them, and then you went to class, and a teacher just sort of like went over it. But really, the knowledge was in the book, right? And so, I'm not saying anything about teachers. Please understand, because I used to teach. But I'm just saying, you had to get the books, right? You had to read the books. And then the teacher retaught, probably in layman's terms, what you just read. So the fact that after we get out of school, we stopped reading, we stopped growing our mind, and we just sort of turn into zombies that listens to the radio and reads the newspaper and watches television shows, that's just really scaring the bejesus out of us. Guys, that's not good. So take back that control and grow every day. He said that if you listen, like imagine if you're in your car every day for an hour, you got a 30-minute commute, okay, back and forth. If you listen to an hour a day in your car of an audio, like audio books, after 5 years of doing that, you would have put in the amount of time that it takes to get a 4-year degree. Like, did you just hear that? So listening a day, like 1 hour a day for 5 years, just while you're driving in your car, you're doing your commuting, that would be equal to a 4-year degree. For real. What are you listening to in your car? And then reading 30 minutes before bed is so powerful, because that's the last thing you're imprinting on your subconscious mind before you go to sleep. So don't be watching those scary cop shows or murder killer shows or the news, heaven forbid, before bed, because that's the last thing you're putting in here before you go to bed. All right, so for the next 6 hours, 7, 8 hours while you get to sleep, that's the last thing you put in there. All right, so No more of those crazy shows or anything. And then he also talked about who you hang around with matters. Who we run with is who we're going to be. And, I heard one time that how we're the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, and it's so true. So just reassess who you're spending your time with. Maybe you need to change that up a little bit and spend a little more time with people who have that entrepreneurial, there we go, spirit. People who are into personal development, people who have more and have achieved more in life than you have so far, but you aspire to do that. Maybe not the exact same thing they do, but you respect and you appreciate what they've accomplished in life, and they're good role models to be around. So I thought that was really powerful. And he said every relationship is either pulling us up or it's pushing us down. Wow. Every relationship is either pulling us up or pushing us down. So really think about that. Who are you spending your time with? Shannon, anything about that, or do you care to go ahead and take on number 3?
Nope, you covered it. Number 3 is work. Make things happen. If you want more, you have to become more. So, if you want to become a diamond, you need to work like a diamond. You can't work like an executive and expect to become a diamond. If you want more, you have to become more. And you don't chase success, you attract it. I think that's so powerful.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to click on you. My bad.
That's okay. I probably look better in the small box.
Not true. You look beautiful.
Action is what separates winners from losers. And it doesn't take a special ability, it just takes action.
Yeah, I love that. Network marketing does not take special ability, it just takes action. And I think sometimes that's what's intimidating to people in this profession. Look at me, I'm holding my fingers like this. Who am I? Like the President of the United States? You see this? Oh my gosh, I gotta come with something else. Okay.
You've been watching the news?
What?
Have you been watching the news and the debates?
No, never. Okay. But I think that is why sometimes this is intimidating to people, or people give up so quickly, is because network marketing, this profession, being successful and it works global, does not take special ability at all. Everything in this that you need to be successful, you can learn. You can learn. It's all just a learned thing. Now, sure, people come into this with different skills and different strengths. Of course, that's just called being human, right? That would be the same as if you took on really any job. 10 people take on the same job, they're all going to have different skill sets and strengths. They're going to have different personalities. It's no different when you start this. You just have to take action for yourself, personal development, and take action in your business, which means income producing activity, right? Things that are actually going to make you income, not like making the same list of something over and over again just to sort of like stall, like actually asking people to take a look at the products or the income opportunity. So, all right. So, Shannon, any last words about any of that we just talked about before I share these last few things?
Well, one thing I loved, he said, don't ever feel like you're bothering people. Thank God someone bothered me and told me about it.
Gives me chills.
And then he also said every decision we make has a ripple effect. What kind of legacy are you leaving? So when you drop that stone in the water, it's not just you that it's going to be affected. It has that big ripple effect. You're affecting possibly hundreds or thousands of lives with what you do in this business, and you'll never be able to have that kind of impact in the world through, like, what other profession can you have that kind of impact? I was a nurse. I could impact 5 people a day. Like, that's it. That was maxed out. But with this profession, we have the ability to impact thousands of lives. So it's so big, and it's so much bigger than what we just don't even realize how big it is. It's so huge. So what kind of legacy are you leaving?
Oh, it just gives me chills when you think about that, because everyone comes in, I believe everybody comes into this world with the ability to leave a legacy. And fear stops that. So say no to fear, just say no, and step into that power like Shannon was talking about. Step into the power of the opportunity that is before you. Decide what you want out of it. Decide the kind of person you want to be, and go for it, for heaven's sakes. Go for it. Build a legacy. Build something that when you're gone, people still bring up your name. Really, because you touched lives and you changed the world while you were here, and we all have that ability. It's nothing to be scared of. Actually, it could be very, very exciting if you think about it, because we all have such unique gifts and talents, and if everybody really just let those shine. And I believe in this profession allows you, and I've said this before, I've said it several times, but this profession, sorry if you hear that. I think my husband's like putting up some things or something. But in this profession really allows you to become the person that you've always wanted to be. If you sit and think about, who do I want to be? What do I want people to say about me? Like, wow, he's such a giving person, or wow, she is such an inspiration, or the things that you want to be remembered for. This profession, this vehicle, especially It Works Global, gives you that opportunity to become the person you've always wanted to be. And that's nothing to be afraid of. Just do it, right? Just do it. I've heard that somewhere before. Just do it. All right, guys. So I'm just going to leave you with just a few last closing thoughts here. This is going to be, we usually do an hour, and I was going to do 30 minutes, but we just have too much good stuff to talk about here. But you know what? Hold the phone, Mac. My computer's about to die. So 1 second while I plug in. Sorry, I don't know what you're seeing. Hopefully not up my nose here. Hold on. Okay. See, anybody can do this business. I'm trying to be professional. Okay. All right. So a couple things I wanted to chat with y'all about. So it's November, and let me say this, we are in the holiday season now, and that is the biggest reason to go out and build your business, because it is the time of year where people are decorating their homes. They're in a very social mood. They want to have people over, or they want to be invited places because it's just that time of year. So that's absolutely a wonderful time to ask people to host wrap and wow parties, or host your own at your house and invite people over. All right. And it's also a time where people are spending a lot of money, period. So we have some products that are life-changing, that are unparalleled in the marketplace. So people want to buy our products. And if you just go out to any shop, any store, for heaven's sakes, any shopping mall, and just sit there and look around, people are spending money. And so don't hesitate to share our holiday packages, our incredible new product line. Start putting out posts about ideas for stocking stuffers like wraps or wow or defining gel, things like that. Get creative, have fun with the fact that it's the holiday season, and do not use that as an excuse for even 1 second about how it's not a good time to build your business, because actually it is an incredible time to build your business. And you have to think, right after the holiday season comes January, New Year's resolutions. And folks, we're a health and wellness company. So if you do nothing these next 2 months, and I'm going to be honest, January is going to be a little bit rough for you because you've gotten no traction. But if you consistently make sure you're posting on social media, talking about, several of our awesome products, and letting people know what you have to offer, your January is going to be awesome too. So November, December, you know what, guys? Powerful months to build your business. So if you're believing otherwise, you need to change that programming. All right. Being very intentional with your time. I've been talking to a lot of you all here in the last week. I know so many leaders are doing different things like Rocket to Ruby. I'm doing sort of an intense group. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Sort of a focus group with people who are wanting to go diamond this month. And, I love talking to you all. I love hearing all the different stories that all of you all are sharing and your successes. And the biggest thing I want to share from all that, I think, with speaking with everyone, is just be intentional with your time. Everybody has 30 minutes a day to work on their business, whether it's a few minutes before work, it's on a 15-minute break if you get it, it's on a lunch hour if you get it, it's right after work before you transition to the next thing you have to do. You guys, most of what we do when we market and brand ourselves is on social media, a few posts. So if you're on there scrolling, you've got time to do that, then you've got time to make a post about your business, or at least make a post in general. The more you're on those social media platforms, the better your algorithm is, which means more people see your stuff. So everybody has 30 minutes a day, and you've got to decide what you want out of it. It goes back to that. If you really want, you really want something out of this and you know what that is, then you're going to make the time. You're going to find the time because it's there. Everybody has the same hours in the day. You just have to decide to carve out hours and set them aside and devote them to your business. And with that, you know, it is the holidays, and there's a lot going on with everybody, and life is always going to be happening. So I just want you to think about this tonight. I'm going to leave you with this. Well, actually, I'm not going to leave you with this because I have one other thing that I'm going to leave you with, but this is the second thing, okay? And then I'll leave you with the last thing. All right, so I want you to imagine for a second that this is now your full-time career. You've been able to let go of your jobs and your business. You have grown it to the size where it requires full-time effort and it's bringing in full-time income. What would you do if life happened and this were your full-time career? Which means it's putting the roof over your head and it's putting food on the table and clothes on your back. What would you do? You wouldn't be able to close it down and walk away because it's putting the roof over your head and food on the table and clothes on your back. So just know that life is always happening no matter what. But if your business is important to you, and it's everybody, you know, everyone's businesses is personal to them for a different reason. You need some financial freedom, you need some time freedom, or you want both for different reasons. If it is important to you, don't let life sideline you. Don't let life bench you because it's always going to be there. And I'm speaking from a place, I understand that. You know, in the last 10 years, I've lost my mom, I've lost 2 grandfathers, a grandmother, and an uncle, and have had a lot of other life happen too. So, and a lot of those things have happened since I started this business. And I worked a full-time job when I started this business. I just grew my business to the point where I could walk away from that. So for a year, I worked 40 to 60 hours a week and then did this on top of it. So life's always going to happen, guys. And you just have to decide what you want out of your business. And so just take a little time tonight and think about that. Think about the things that are really weighing you down right now. Maybe it is your job and you're really stressed because the people you work with are kind of like, oh, just decide if those people are enough to sideline you, if it's worth it, or if that year vision, that vision you're casting for your life, your dream day, if that's worth more. So I hope that's helpful. I just feel like I've talked to so many of you, and I talked to all my leaders, and they tell me kind of what's going on and just taking the pulse of the team. And I just want you to know I totally understand life, and so do you, because it's been happening since the moment we all took our first breath, and that's never going to change. So just keep rolling with it. Keep going with it. And Shannon, do you care to share really quick what Tony Robbins shared?
Well, he just really said, kind of in a nutshell, that for some reason we expect life to be like perfect and problem free. And so then when something happens, we kind of have this freak out moment and implode because life is not perfect and we don't understand why it's happening to us, kind of thing. But he said, we need to realize that life is not perfect. Life is not problem free. You're always going to have things come up in your life, and it just, all that determines you is how you react to it. You'll always have problems. You'll always have issues. It doesn't matter what you do. I don't care how much money you have. The wealthiest people probably have more problems than we do. It's just how it is. But the difference is they expect problems. They expect things to come up. They expect hiccups and road bumps. But when they hit those, they just keep going. But a lot of times in life, when we have those moments, we have hiccups or bumps in the road, we just stop. We stop and lay down and waller in our self-pity. So don't do that. Don't do that. Pick yourself up, brush it off, keep going.
Exactly.
It's okay to have a moment. Like I'll have a moment. I'll take like 10 minutes and I'll cry and wallow in my self-pity, and then I'm like, okay, this is doing nobody any good. So let's problem solve. And if you're lacking some problem solving skills, we can help you with that. But life is not going to be perfect. Don't expect it to be perfect. Don't expect not to have problems, because you're going to have them.
Absolutely. The let's see, what day is this? Not this past weekend, but the weekend before. Stacy Holweger, our upline ambassador diamond, who's amazing. She treated Melissa Roby and I to a VIP weekend, and it was incredible. And we were able to go out and spend the day out on a boat in Florida with Pam Souter and her husband Dave. And so I just asked Pam, give me your wisdom. Give me wisdom. What would you tell new distributors after 15 years of doing this almost? Like, what would you say? And she shared several things, but the thing that I wanted to share with what kind of tag teaming off what Shannon said was, even Pam Souter herself, who's the co-founder of the company, said, you're going to have those days. You're going to have those days where life is just like, bleh. So you know what? Go to your bed and hide under the covers for a little bit. If that's what you need to do, go do it. And then come out and get back to work. It's okay. Everybody has those moments. So from the queen bee herself, she said, go hide under the covers for just a little bit and then come out, take a breath, and go on. Keep going. So with that said, just talking about life and talking about how busy you are and your busy schedule, this came to me the other day, and this is the last thing I want to leave you with. So it's my 3-3-30 rule. So write that down. 3-3-30. All right. So 3 means you need to post 3 times a day on your social media platform. Now, I do realize that some of you all are in Rocket to Ruby group. Some of you all are working with me on Going Diamond, so your activity level is higher. I'm specifically just putting this, I'm putting this out there just as the basis, the foundation for doing enough to get the ball rolling in your business. So post 3 times a day on your social media outlet. Not all 3 about it works. Do a personal one. Share what you're doing, your highlight of your day maybe. Share something positive, something funny, whatever. And then share something about the business. Maybe a wrap party you did, or you sold some wow, or you're so thankful for your It Works business. So out of those 3 posts, 1 or 2 need to be about a product or the income opportunity. Not spammy, not an infomercial, for heaven's sakes. Something genuinely thoughtful and creative that people would want to read. All right, so that's the first 3. The second 3 is, 3. So 3, 3. The second 3 is you need to ask 3 people a day either to host a Wrap and Wow party for you, to meet you for a one-on-one so you can share your new business with them, to host a virtual party for you so that you can meet some new people, especially when those allow you to do those with family and friends in other states or countries even. Or you're hosting your own Wrap and Wow party and you're asking them to attend. So 3, that second 3, that is your very direct income producing activity. Because guys, if you're not asking people to meet you for a one-on-one, to host a wrap party, to attend a wrap party, to host a virtual party, or to attend a virtual party, and you're solely relying on your marketing on social media, you're missing the biggest piece of the puzzle. The biggest thing we do is we ask people to take a look at our business, because we don't have a traditional lock and key business where they can just like drive in and stop by. So we have to ask so that we can set aside that time to make it happen. So 3 posts a day, 3 asks a day, ASKS, just to be clear, 3 asks a day, and 30 minutes of personal development. And you're going to hear me say that until like the cows come home, like whatever that means. But if you're not working on you guys and your business isn't moving forward, that's the reason why. And I don't know how else to, really how else to say that, but it's the truth. So 30 minutes a day of listening to an audio book, listening to The Strangest Secret, and reading, period. No excuses. 30 minutes a day. Out of 24 hours, you've got 30 minutes, and it's worth it. It's worth it if this is what you want for your future. If this is what you want to create